All right, 7th graders, this is to help you with question 7 on CR Helper number 4. This is a great question, and you're going to run into it quite a bit in 8th grade. It says, explain in words why negative and then 5 in parentheses squared and negative 5 in parentheses squared results in different answers. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to work through each. Negative, and then in parentheses, 5 to the second. So if I look at this, can you see there's this negative trailing on the outside? That really means negative 1 times 5 to the second power. So when we talk about order of operations, what do we do first? Do we do exponents first or do we multiply? Well, our order of operations is parentheses, then exponents, then multiplication or division, left to right. So we definitely need to handle exponents before we multiply or divide. So now we're going to handle this exponent. What does 5 squared mean? 5 squared means 5 times 5. What's 5 times 5? Oh, that's 25. So because this negative's on the outside of the parentheses, we have this negative 1 times, I trail that right along, negative 1 times 5 squared is 25. What's a negative times a positive? A negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times 25 is 25. Now let's look at the other example. Can you see now this negative 5 is within parentheses? So it's that entire number that we're going to square. So what does negative 5 squared mean? Oh, it means negative 5 times negative 5. And what's a negative times a negative? That's a positive. 5 times 5 is 25. So these are going to result in different answers. And so we have to explain in words why. Well, I might just tell them negative 5 in parentheses squared means negative 5 times negative 5, which will result in a positive answer. I might also tell them negative and then 5 squared means negative 1 times 5 squared, which will result in a negative answer. Now you need to do a much nicer write-up than I did, but that's the gist of it. If you have a negative outside the parentheses, it really represents negative 1 times what you got going on there. If the negative is in the parentheses, it means negative 5 times negative 5. All right, I hope that helps.